welcome to this knitting podcast, which is in fact all about the gnomes. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai, and AdoreKnit Steph on Instagram. And this is episode 22 of the AdoreKnit Podcast, all about the gnomes. Because you know I'm all about those gnomes, about those gnomes, about those gnomes. Yeah, I'm all about those gnomes, about those gnomes, about those gnomes. I know. I'm hearing it in my head. Are you hearing it in your head? All about those gnomes. So let me tell you, I wrote some very thorough show notes right here. We're going to quickly talk about the shop. I'm going to show you some finished objects, some whips, do some dream knitting, and then talk to you about what I've been watching. And that's it. That's what I've got. Okay, so first, the shop. It is Super Bowl weekend, right? It is Friday, January 31st. The Super Bowl is this Sunday, and I will be cheering for the red team. This has been driving my sons crazy. I'm turning into a punny mummy. Yeah, so no, I'll be cheering for the Chiefs just because of Mr. Mahomes and Andy Reid. I felt so bad when the Eagles let him go, so I really like him to succeed. So, but apparently, because we're Patriots fans, I'm not supposed to cheer for people in our conference, so the rest of the house is cheering for the 49ers or something. I don't know. Anyways, so it's Super Bowl weekend, and there's been this long-held connection between the Super Bowl, at least around here in New England, the Super Bowl Sunday and yarn shop sales. So I thought we would have our second annual. We did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. Starting now, 20% off anything, everything, no matter what you buy in the shop right now. And we're still running the free shipping on orders over $17. So you could get a very nice deal right now. And there's a bunch of new that was added to the 50% off section. But once those are gone, they're gone. So go check it out if you would like to get something. We'd love it. Another new thing coming to the shop that I'm super excited about. I can't wait to tell you. Okay. Everybody loves a good advent, right? And they were so fun to make and they were so fun to open. And so I got this idea that it would be fun to do a countdown to the start of summer vacation. So we have up in the shop a 12-day club calendar, however you want to label it, but it's 12 individual packages that you open up for the days leading up to the last day of school. So things that you might need for summer vacation. It's definitely a summer themed set. So I'm very excited. If you order that during the month of February, you will get 10% off. And I have shipping on there for internationals, but if you would like to message me before purchasing it, if you're international, I can totally give you a quote for sending it to your country. So excited. And I have another idea that for a club that we'll be doing later, or calendar, however you want to, advent, whatever, later in the year. And then we will be doing the Christmas too. So yay! So fun. So there's that. And last thing about the shop, and then I'm done, is that the first podcast of every month, I do a prize drawing based on Instagram posts using the hashtag AdoreKnit. So show us your work in progress with your progress keeper or stitch markers, and you'll be entered to win a $10 gift certificate. So you've got one day. Go post some pictures and get entered into the February drawing. So, and they just carry forward. Like the more you post, the more chances you get to win. So there's that. Okay, done with shop. Let's talk about finished objects. Last time I showed you the start of my gnome. So this is the Never Not Gnoming pattern by Imagine Landscapes, Sarah Sercha. I'm not giving away anything. So there you go. That's what they're supposed to look like, and that's what my guy looks like. I used some Knit Picks Felici. So the pattern is a straight stockinette hat. I did some color work in it, and it could use a good blocking for sure. But I love him so much. He's got pellets in his bum so he sits nicely. She has some very good recommendations on how to use the pellets. I've never knit anything with them before. Look at how pretty the bottom is. I'm quite enamored with that. He's got these cute little arms and his beard. So this is I think she calls it a vertical beard. There are different kinds of beards. I did the vanilla bean, the slip stitch pattern every time a color changed for his body. Just because I wanted to keep it interesting and fun, and it was so much fun to knit. I did love him. So he goes from orange to purple, and then red to blue. So there he is. There's my big guy. He was named Nomeo by Tristan, which is kind of uncreative. So I don't know. This one's mine. It's not his. But when this one was finished, I cast on another one. Well, you know, you get points for the knit along. So this one was just made from scraps. And look at how tiny he is compared to his buddy. Aren't they cute though? Their little arms. Hi, bud. Hi. Okay, sorry. I made his beard striped. I don't know if you could see that, just using leftover cream yarn. In his body, there are so many scraps of sock yarn that it almost looks ferile the way it turned out. For his hat, I started off with the black and maroon. I know the maroon is a regia. Striping those and kind of doing a slip stitch thing when it changed color, but then I ran out of black, and so I added some green. It's got all the colors on there. So he is very, very cute and very wee. And I just sewed his arms on this morning. Well, everything. Arms and his beard. And so we'll see if Tristan tries to run away with this today or not. I am knitting. So wait, let me back up. I really appreciate that pattern, right? It was by, I told you, Imagine Landscapes. I think I spent $5 for it. But at the same time that I got that, I also, because gnomes are my team's mascot, so I have to knit some gnomes. I also got Rebecca Danger's, what does she call them? Gnome Nuggets. So this is a free pattern. It says it's not available on Ravelry, but then you click the link and you can print it. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but so that's what they are supposed to look like, right? And this pattern is free, and she has a cute beard. The beard has sideburns on it. So this is as far as I am with the beard. I like her beard construction, if you will, and that's, I'm using some Knit Picks palette because I'm not a big fan, so why not use it up on something like this? I think I bought it to knit the Santas. And Tristan picked the colors because this one's for him, and I have color requirements for the knit along, so he is crazy bright. And yeah, so Tristan wanted the red and orange, and I threw in the bright teal and some yellow and some purple, so he would meet for that. We got the safety eyes. He picked out the size he wanted for the safety eyes. He does have pellets in his bum, but he doesn't sit nearly as well as the other one. And I felt like this just took forever, and I didn't enjoy knitting him. I knit him on size 2s. I knit this guy on 2s and then 1s for the body. I went down, or not 1s, 0s. So, and then I knit the super little guy just on 0s. No, 2s for the hat and 0s for the body again. I did follow the... Anyways, I did add a brim on the hat based on the Never Not Gnoming. Yeah, so, although this nose is kind of cute, but whatever. Maybe I should just cut all that out. Just say that I really appreciated the Never Not Gnoming pattern, for all the thoughtfulness that Sarah put into it. And while I appreciated the free option, this was definitely worth the money, and I feel like the finished object is a lot cuter than this one will be. My 2 cents, my opinion. But those are the gnomes that have been knit. I have one more gnome. So for the knit along with the pigskin party, it's wrapping up this weekend with the Super Bowl. the challenge is to knit a toy or a stuffy, I think, in the weekend. So I'm assuming Saturday, Sunday. I have to go look if I can cast on tonight or not. But my plan is to knit the Gnome de Plume hat by, Gnome de Plume. I mean, it could make a very nice hat. But to knit this gnome, also by Sarah. And I'm so glad I purchased 2 of her patterns because they're totally worth it. So I'm excited to cast that one on and give it a try. So that's some future knitting for me. Okay, whips. I mean, Tristan's gnome is a whip, but it'll be done next week. I just have to finish the beard and it's done. So, I really want to finish my December interception project by Sunday, by the end of the knit along, of course. And that project was the Resistant Shawl by Maggie Bruxelles. And I am knitting it with 2 colors of sun-soaked yarns. It's kind of crazy looking right now. But last time you saw it, where's my cat in the hat? I was in section 3. Over here with the cat in the hat. So I finished section 3. Maybe I should get closer. I finished section 3 and then I have started on section 4, which you can see this part over here. So it's going the other direction. Such a cool shawl. Yesterday I did, I think, 4 hours of knitting on this. I really want to get this done by Sunday, so I am more than halfway through section 4. Doing the math, I think I have another 4 hours to go on section 4, and then there's a border. And I might do an applied I-cord across the top, I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel. I absolutely love both of these colors, and I love the way they look together. These are sun-soaked yarns, I don't know if I said that. And I feel like they're not doing, the colors aren't being done justice. Like, I didn't do a good pairing with this. Does that make sense? If I had done larger stripes, I think the colors, the contrast between the 2 would have shown more and it would have been a prettier finished object. As it stands now, I think it looks really beautiful up close. But then when I pull back from it, I see, so pretty, those 2 colors. But when I get further back, it just kind of looks like a brown gray. Like, it's not a good color for me. So hopefully it will be long enough. I might need to pin it. Yeah, because it's garter stitch. Well, no, that's definitely gonna be long enough because it's gonna be longer. I could probably get it to my full wingspan. So that'll be nice. Good thing to have. I'll be very glad when it's done. I looked back at my notes and I wanted this. From the moment the magazine came out, it was in Knit Scene magazine. And so I saw it, and I think it was like a year before I bought the Knit Scene digitally, because I lost my hard copy and then I printed it. Anyways, it took me like 2 months of talking about it from the time I created the pattern page to, project page. 2 months from that point to when I actually cast on, and then the pigskin party started and whips aren't allowed, and so it got shuffled aside. All that to say, it's probably been a year in the works, and I'm just like running downhill now, putting a lot into it so that it's just finished and off my needles, because that knit scene, I think it had 2 other modular patterns that I really wanted to knit, so I'll be excited to move on and do something else a bit more colorful too. As much as I love gray, it's not the most fun to knit. So I have one more work in progress in one of my fat squirrel bags. This one's gigantic. I don't know why I bought one that's so big, but it's really big. And I think I had something long-term storaging in this, so glad to have it back. I am knitting the Lucky Hat by, oh God, I'm gonna put her name or his name across the bottom. It's basically a big chunky big chunky hat with cables. So I'm holding fingering weight yarn doubled, and I am using a skein of, this is called Mithril, which was a club color for Into the World. I believe it's the Manchester base, which has 10% cashmere goat in it. I don't know why they specify goat as opposed to, I mean, I guess the rabbit must be a bit softer because this is a bit scratchy to me. And I started holding 2 strands of this, just this, but it's way too variegated of a yarn. Like I couldn't see my cables, not my cables, my ribbing. I definitely wasn't going to see my cables. So there's no point if you're not going to be able to see things. So I pulled out this skein, also sun-soaked yarns, and this one is a, I don't know the percents, it's an MCN, so I'm assuming it's a 80-10-10. Sun-soaked yarns, moss, 435 yards. So I pulled this out, so I'm holding these 2 together, trying to get to match a silver jacket that has a lime zipper and collar. So I think that goes pretty well. Chartreuse, lime, and I thought the variegation would kind of make it, it sort of goes. So here's what I have so far. Not a whole heck of a lot, but about 1 inch into it, and I'm gonna give it a good tall brim. Not a fold over, but definitely, 2.5, 3 inches of brim, and then I will start the cables. Also, one I want to finish this weekend. Next week, let me tell you, the show is going to be full of FOs. Well, no, I've only said 4 things, but that's the plan, and the start of the new month. Okay, so did I show you a picture of that? Oh my God, where's my head? Where is my mind? So this pattern, I did have to pay for it. I do believe it was published in 2013, and it goes from toddler of 17 inches head circumference to adult 24-inch circumference. So it's got 3 sizes it's written for. I'm doing the largest one. There's that. My project bag doesn't match my project, and that kind of throws me off. I need a small, that's too big of a bag for that, but it was near to hand. The other, so next new, what's dream knitting? This is another sun-soaked yarns. This won't be done by this weekend. The colorway is called Hummingbird, and it is 80/20 super wash merino nylon. So this is really cute. It came with some light bulb markers because a lot of her skeins, I don't know if they all do or if it's like if you buy 5 skeins, one of them has it, but this was one that came with some light bulb markers. And for this, my mom picked it out to match her latest winter coat. I need to knit this fast because there's not a lot of time left in winter. Yay! It's the start of February, and by April, we'll be wearing our light winter jackets, and her jacket is a heavier one. So she might only have it for next year. But anyways, I picked out a super simple pattern. I was thinking about the hitchhiker. So I have a couple hitchhikers. I did not knit her one. I knit her a goldfinch. But I thought, I could do a hitchhiker. But then I'm thinking about knitting things for my queue this year. And so I looked through my queue and I found, I think it's a free pattern, the Martina Bem 22.5 degrees. I have knit this before. I knit it with some Fibronit Dye Works in this beautiful purple color. I remember knitting it at SSK. So I have fond memories of this pattern, and I remember it being really simple. The shawl is an elongated triangle. Yeah, I know it's black and white. You can't see the picture very well, but it is super across, and I believe super across. It's a shallow, long triangle is what I'm trying to say. And it's clever because the 22.5 is the angle at the outsides of the triangle. So if I'm remembering correctly, this is one where you can knit until you're out of yarn, I think. Because it's got this ruffled hem on it. Maybe I'll read scalloped edge. Yeah. So I guess I can't knit till I'm out of yarn. Nope, I can't. I think I made my first one shorter, or there was some color management because it was like a 7-color stripe purple thing, colorway, and I wanted to make sure that, I don't remember. It was a while ago. It was 7 years ago. Maybe 8. No, 7, 6, something. 7. Yeah. So, that's what I've got. Oh, what have I been watching? Wait, let me put something in my hands to knit and I'll talk to you. Let's work on Daryl's hat. Okay, what have I been watching? So yesterday when I got in for, what have I been watching? Yesterday I put in 4 hours of knitting. I was super focused on working on my shawl, and I binged the entire the entire mini-series of The Stranger, which I think was released yesterday or the day, like within the last week onto Netflix. It was awesome. It's a great little mystery show, lots of characters that you're like, how are these people going to be connected? And the main detective in the show, I've seen her in a couple other things, and I love her in this role. It's really different than the other roles I've seen her in, so that was cool. Yeah, I spent the whole show being like, okay, I think this. No, okay, I think that. So if you like those kind of shows, definitely worth it. And the main character, the dad in the series, it's very good looking. So there's that. I watched all of The Expanse. I don't think I talked about this on here. I've been watching it probably for a month now. It is on Amazon Prime. It is very similar to Battlestar Galactica. I finished season 4. There are 4 seasons, but they're shorter. I think that's like a 14, 15 episode season. And The Stranger is like 7 or 8 episodes. So, but The Expanse, I finished the last one, and I just want to go back and watch the very first episode again, because I think that things will have different meanings now that you've, grown and evolved with the characters and seen how they've changed. And I want to rewatch that first episode again. So I'm going to do that. And then guilty pleasure, Netflix again. I'm almost embarrassed to say it because it's so, the comedy is so blue that it just doesn't fit with me, but for some reason I really enjoy watching The Ranch. Mom and my aunt, everyone I recommended it to is like, what? No. I couldn't get into that. That show is weird. Sam Elliott, I think is who it is. He just cracks me up all the time. So I have been watching, I think they do it as parts, not seasons. So I'm watching part 8. And yeah, it gives me a good little chuckle. It's just, because normally I'm not a comedy person, definitely not a sitcom person, but that show, it's good company. So that's that. Have I watched any movies? No movies. The boys have been great. It's almost Valentine's Day, and I'm pretty sure Tristan has a girlfriend. He gets all embarrassed, but yet every day he comes home talking about Asa. Asa and I did this, Asa and I. So they're in class together and they sit together on the bus. And mind you, he can choose where he sits on the bus. And there are other boys from his class on the bus, but he chooses to sit with Asa. So he even brought a special book on the bus to share with Asa about dinosaurs because she likes dinosaurs. So who knows, maybe it'll be his best friend growing up, but it's really cute to just see how he's growing and his interests are coming out. So that's it. Okay. I hope you have a great Super Bowl Sunday and the week ahead treats you well and you stay toasty warm, and happy knitting, my friends. Bye, y'all.